Gotta reset the counter. Gotta reset the days since last accident, since last Subaru death. Erase that. It feels like it's been forever. Like, probably the beginning of the last season, I think it was. Like, when Sirius. I think the last death was with Sirius. And then once he left Sirius, I think it pretty much kept going. It's hard to remember because, honestly, the resets are getting so short that it feels like you see less of that repeat happening, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's good because, you know, it's just trying to get the story going rather than keep resetting way back here and telling the story again a different perspective. But we get rid of those things that I enjoyed about the resets before, which was like getting different perspectives of different characters through those resets. But that's a side tangent in itself. But yes, violent as always. Death of Subaru, violent as always. Just it's just like pops like a grape or something like that. It just gets popped off. It was great because every single time it reset, I'm like, okay, that's really crazy. And then he starts getting like mentally with the idea of Beatrice being, you know, hurt and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, get off the mount. Like, the answer's right there. The damn thing likes to get his chin rubbed. Julia's best bro showed it to you earlier. Get off the damn mount. Like, get off your lazy butt and go rub that chin. I guess technically the idea there is he didn't want to make any noise, disturb the area around them, the bears, so he had to reach over there with a sloth hand and rub the chin. It was good. But yeah, finally get the reveal of the individual that we've seen in the PV and whatnot, which is, again, kind of spoilers there that kind of showed that much stuff there. But yeah, somebody up in the tower, which I'm assuming is probably going to be the sage they're looking for, Shala. Already showing the orange collar, which is very sus in general. But I think the thing that stood out the most in this episode overall was just the Ram pointing out the idea that Subaru was being targeted. And that seemed to be the case with every single reset before then, was that they were always going for Subaru. Subaru was the target for every single shot. Yes, technically others saved him and he, you know, was spared his life, but in the end, he was the shot. He was the target every single time. And then going towards the later part with Ram using clairvoyance, suddenly she's going, their target is Subaru. They're looking at Subaru. Every single time they're targeting him. Why are they targeting him? And again, at the very end of the episode, and of course it's saying, finally found you. It seems like whoever this is, if it is the sage, is looking for Subaru, or at least targeting Subaru. And I think that goes back to the previous episode when they were talking about the fact that they were a keeper of knowledge and they've foreseen everything that will be. It gives me the impression that this individual, this sage, if this is sage, is going to know who Subaru is. That's going to, I think, the beginning of the question mark, I think in general is going to be, is it a factor that they know who Subaru was, or just knows who Subaru will become? What individual he will eventually become? And they could, if they're foreseeing something, could see that something's going to happen in the future, and they've foreseen that Subaru is going to be here. Now, the question is why they're killing him. The question is why they're killing them. That's the oddity there, because if you go back to the previous resets, if they foreseen things, if they would know that if they shot Subaru, he would die. Unless, I'm getting way too in the deep weeds here, but hey, it's this fun stuff. If you're a source material reader, I don't need answers to this. Is there a chance here that they foresee the resets, that they foresee in their vision of the future? Are they seeing that Subaru will reset every single time he's attacked? And that will be a confirmation of who he is. I think the telling thing here is that, again, if this is the sage, the fact that they have that collar. And if they do know him and they have foreseen him, they are the person they were looking for. They potentially seen his goofy orange collar, shirt, tracksuit stuff and was like, oh, I'm going to dress up just like him. And that's why they have that orange, a very distinguished orange tint to it. I did like the fact that, yes, this entire, like, season, this journey to the dunes and to the watchtower literally starts with Subaru changing the outfit. Everybody's changing their outfit. Subaru's got his new little cloak and everything like that. Amelia's over there looking like her mom, getting the nice tights on. Nice clingy outfit that she gets on. Everybody's getting the new outfits going, and literally we cut to, at the end of this episode, we have this individual that's sniping at them is wearing like Subaru kind of outfits or colors here. It's kind of funny. But anyways, let's get the episode proper. Opening up the episode with, yes, them kind of parting ways with the manor. Very briefly having Roswell pointing out the fact that there's something special about Ram. And we do see later on they are, tending to Ram. And I assume that was going to be the case, that it is this, this process that Roswell has to do on a regular basis. I don't know if they've ever gotten the specifics of it. I knew that he had to like pour mana into her broken horn. And I'm assuming that was what they're probably, tasked with now that he's away from Roswell for an extended period of time. they'll be having to do this. I'm kind of wondering if at some point during this trip in the light novel, I'm assuming at some point we get that scene where they will ask Ram or Beatrice about this whole process, what it is involving. And maybe potentially that's stuff that's kind of skipped here, but maybe we'll get in the shorts, the break times. Maybe they'll have one of those scenes in there. It'll kind of explain that stuff a little more detail, or at least show that scene where they talked about that. You get to see that Melly is potentially going to become food for the their mounts there for a minute there. Yes, when they head off to the dunes, get some information from this guy about the dunes themselves. It seems like in a case that this guy probably went there before, probably had a party that went to the tower before, failed completely, lost his leg. The little insight to the Julius and his spirits, though, that was interesting. The fact that he still maintains the divine protection of the guiding spirits, which makes sense. I mean, even if he does have this happen to him, the protection is going to still be there. But this is indicating that, yeah, the spirits themselves, even though they're still contracted to him, they're still at his side. They don't know why. They're like, who's this dude? Why are we with him? I don't know. We should probably stay with him, I guess. Yeah, we should probably. I don't know why, but we're supposed to be here. Which is odd because it implies that they're sticking with him. He still has the protection, but he's not able to use them. So it implies the fact that he has to have some sort of bond with them or a communication with them that he no longer has. There's a severance there that they no longer listen to him, but they still stay at his side, which gives me this sense here that probably at some point they will shield him. They just won't work with him. That's my assumption there, which leads him to have to use his swordsmanship, which he's still damn good at that. We get to see Melly in action for a little brief moment. I love that. Subaru's like, hey, you doing your job? Yeah, of course I'm doing my job. You haven't seen any mobbies, right? Yeah, but is that really because of you? I don't know. Here, you want to ask him yourself? This big ass freaking worm comes out. It's like bigger than like recorded stuff that Julie's has even seen. This massive worm just comes out of nowhere. She's like, oh, here, you want to see it? There you go. Flex. This is like a random, like, just flex. That's when we have Eridona bring up the idea of the distortion in space, which later on Subaru kind of comes to an interesting conclusion that they might be potentially similar to what Beatrice does with the doors, which kind of, again, visually, it kind of looks like that. But anyways, yes, they got to get around this distortion. It seems like it's somewhere in the area of the sandstorms themselves, so they decide to have Ram use her clairvoyance through the mobbies in order to see where that distortion is opened up. And that turns into Ram using her clairvoyance. No, I like how like Ram is sitting there trying to like go, hey, can you give me some mob beasts that are above ground, please? It's really hard for me to find them when they're above ground. Like, it's hard to distinguish between them. Why don't you give them more time? Like, Meili's being so petty about the situation. Why don't you give them more time? I can't see anything underground. Give me something above ground. Like this stupid little bickering back and forth. Anyways, they eventually find the opening, run into a bunch of bears. And then, yes, even though Meili decides to get one of the bears to leave, their mount goes crazy, sets off all the bears, and they start to run before Subaru gets a freaking face full of snipe. Again, it's been a long time since we've had a reset like this. And it kind of bugs me that it's such a short reset point. Like, there's, like, very little significance to it besides the fact that he knows he's going to die. And then he has to try to get them to, change positions. And yeah, Ram starts to complain about it, and Emilia has to talk her into it, and that's really all it kind of turns into. It's just kind of showing Emilia going, yeah, I'm used to this. Subaru suddenly brings up something random. It's usually good. Like, it's usually something we have to listen to. Like, we go about our day, and suddenly he goes, hey, everybody turn to the right. He's usually right. There's something about that. Again, because from Emilia's perspective, she only sees when Subaru gets them out of a bad situation. She never sees the failures. She just knows that he randomly brings up stuff, and it leads to something. But yeah, the second death, a little bit more gut punch than the fact that Beatrice is just freaking crying her eyes out and just gets sniped to the stomach and just sparkles away. It sucks. And seeing how that kind of weighs upon Subaru as well. The fact that it's like, okay, I'm seeing her crying and he doesn't like that and is trying to do everything in his power in order to prevent it from happening again. It's good stuff. I think that's the great thing about Subaru and Beatrice in this episode. I mean, it's previous episodes too, is it's like you see that bond between the two of them. It's like earlier, like the whole situation when they first get past the sandstorm is like, he's like, yeah, bonsai. And she's like, wait, I'm right here. You're screaming my ears. He's like, here, do it too. You say bonsai. And she's like, bonsai. It's like, she just wants to play into him. Like, she just cares about him so much. She'll do these embarrassing things just because it'll, appease him. And it's like the reverse happens as well. Him seeing her in pain, him seeing her hurting, he just wants to do everything in his power to prevent it again. It's so good. I like their relationship so much. Yeah, that's when he uses a hand, calms the monster down, tells everybody about something up in the tower. Again, this whole, like, trying to convince everybody that he knows what's going on Before, yes, the sniping happens again and finds out that they're needles. I thought they were going to be arrows. I assumed they were going to be like some sort of like light arrows or something like that, but it seems like somebody's just chucking like needles at like insane velocities or something like that. But yes, Subaru employs their secret weapon, the EMT, a distortion of field that stops all magic. That's not an EMT. It's like in Japanese, it's like negation, like a negation magic something. And it's like, it's not even like EMT. It's like the letters themselves aren't what he's saying, but yet it's EMT still, which is so dorky and cheesy at the same time. Like, it is an EMT in like, in a sense that the magic itself is electricity. So it's creating an EMT itself. But then it goes in that whole thing of like Amelia and the EMT, and it's like we're just throwing shit at we're just throwing shit till something sticks. It's so dorky. And of course Beatrice has to go along with it. She has to go along with this stupid chuny crap that he's doing here. Is great. But anyways, yes. It apparently doesn't last that long, but it's able to kind of get rid of that magical effect so that Julius can just freaking swipe the stuff. But again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Because they produced this field, it sort of affects the current field that is up that might be similar to Beatrice's, and which is the door space crossing stuff, and it completely breaks everything. Interesting. Again, that kind of makes me believe that this might have something to do with it. It's similar magic, I guess. It could have a artificial spirit here similar to Beatrice, or something else. It's similar magic in some sense. But yeah, like I said earlier, wrapping up the episode with this individual up at the tower saying they found him. And again, the fact that they were looking at specifically Subaru, when Ram was looking at clairvoyance, they were looking specifically at Subaru. It tells me that this individual, again, foreseen Subaru, knows what Subaru's going to do. Or, more interesting, if they know who Subaru was. Question mark. There's got to be a reason why they have specifically orange on. There's got to be a reason they have specifically orange on. Anyways, really solid episode. Really enjoyed the later part of it. That whole segment with him getting sniped and this shot with the arrow coming in and Amelia like trying to stop it. And then Julius coming in with a swipe down. It was really freaking cool, but really, really awesome stuff. Looking forward to more. Hopefully we get some insights into who this individual is up at the tower. I don't know. Based on the PV, I can imagine this next part is going to be them in those tunnels for maybe potentially an entire episode, which again, I have my theories around what's causing the problems down there, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Until next time, I'll take care.